Yeah, this is the PC gaming show. This year it's not with Jeff Cayley, or as you like to call him, Geoff Knightley. But
We got Day 9 back, and we got the. I can't remember her name, but the girl who
we did the
is
last
in Day
time.
9. Yeah.
My only experience with Day 9 is whatchamacallit, with the PC gaming show. I don't know. He
Yeah.
comes across as a person who might enjoy the smell of his own fart a bit too much.
Probably. Um, I know he plays a lot of like StarCraft and
Probably why I don't know of
Hearthstone.
him. So now they have a whatchamacallit poll. Well, it just went down, but they were saying best video game couple. I didn't look at the options beyond Guybrush from Monkey Island.
There was Geralt and Yennefer. There was Master Chief and Cortana, which how you fuck a hologram, I have no idea. But and I don't remember what the last one was.
It was The Last of Us.
Was it?
The Last.
Oh.
Oh god, I had to explain that. It's terrible, but I still had to explain it.
It was bad.
This is bad. Oh, and when I took that clip from my stream, it was just incredible. But yeah, one thing I was saying before the stream was there is part of me that's worried about Demon Souls. Apart from, I didn't really like the changes they made to the main theme. It felt like it lost a lot of its of what made it good.
I haven't touched Demon Souls in. When did it come out originally? 2009. Probably a good decade.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I played it. I started playing it when it came out, stopped, then picked it back up again after Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And still, the first Souls game I beat was Dark Souls, but that was after Bloodborne. Fun fact, I never beat Bloodborne because I stopped at the final boss and then never fought him. DLC came out, I did the DLC, went to
There were
the...
like 3 final bosses in Bloodborne.
Yeah, but, like, final boss without spoiling anything. But, I did the DLC, came back to to the same spot and stopped. So, Demon Souls, I stopped at the final boss. I beat all the Dark Souls, which is yay.
Great.
Sekiro, I played for 2 hours and stopped.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm not really good with beating games, in case you haven't realized.
Neither am I. I've beaten most of the FromSoft games. I haven't beaten Demon Souls, but that was mostly because of my crappy build, because I didn't know how to build in the Souls game at the time.
I'm not the kind of person who cares about build. My issue in general in games with builds is I always go for a jack of all trades all the time.
Yeah.
So I made it a point, even when I played like Souls and stuff, make sure I have the Bloodborne, for example. I made sure I can equip every single weapon, even though I didn't really swap weapons all that much, but I still wanted to be able to equip everything.
Yeah. I tend to go for the most versatile thing I can while still being a specialized character. So Bloodborne, I ended up with an arcane build. It was more like an arcane quality build, so I had 50 in arcane, and then 25 in both strength and dex, so I could use the Moonlight Sword, but
I mean, Bloodborne. I started with the cane. I used it, and then I didn't really like the trajectory of the attack. I expected it more horizontal, but the whip was very vertical.
Bad. Axe is objectively the correct choice in
play. When I could buy the weapons, once I got the key item, yeah, I got the axe and loved it. And then I picked up the Kirk hammer. I set it as secondary. I didn't really use it so much. And when I got the Ludwig Holy Blade, I started using that. So it was basically that and whatchamacallit, my axe. And there was also the cannon, of course, which I use from time to time.
Yeah.
Best gaming mouse. My mouse is amazing. It's an Amazon Basic mouse.
I'm using a Logitech G602.
Like, I got a half-decent keyboard. It's a Steel Series. It's big. And the main reason why I picked a Steel Series was my laptop is also Steel Series. So I wanted the keys to be approximately the same size and position. It has a few, like, macro keys and shit. But my mouse is the most basic shit ever. Because I'm not really going to use anything. I had a mouse that was... what mouse was it called? Something mouse, and it has an analog stick. I wanted a mouse with an analog stick, so just to try playing Final Fantasy XIV with a mouse only and use a joystick to move. Problem is, it's not really ergonomically designed because the joystick is like 90 degrees to the rest of the mouse, so it's not really, the thumb doesn't really move correctly. On top of that, the joystick is not through like 360 degrees, it's just 8 directional. So, wasn't the best. It had a shit ton of buttons too.
Yeah. I mean, if I, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if MechWarrior 5 were actually good, I would buy a proper joystick.
I haven't really used the joystick since... well, man, it's not too long ago. It's just the Atari 2600. I'm not counting arcades.
Right, I used one for old PC game sims like MechWarrior 2, X-Wing, stuff like that.
I mean, I never bought a game that used the joystick. I didn't have a joystick after the Atari 2600, which was a fucking long time ago.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the, most games aside from, Flight Sim support them now.
Yeah. But yeah, before I forget, Demon Souls. The one thing I'm worried about, apart from the music, I mean, there is a bit of a tendency in a lot of game remasters and remakes to make music a little more streamlined. Like, if you look at Xenoblade Remaster, the music has less bass, from what I heard.
I haven't really noticed it, but I don't really have a big, like, sound system.
I don't have a big sound system. I really don't care about sound equipment as much, and even though I am a musician, or was a musician for a while, but I did Xenoblade is similar, but the remake like Demon Souls, it's like I don't know, from what we heard, and that's just basing it on the trailer, the theme is not as good.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere feels a bit more, you know, medieval, more generic medieval. Demon Souls had a kind of a...
Itself.
What was that?
That was Demon Souls itself. It was more generic medieval.
Yeah, but the art style, from the lighting, it had a bit of a different feel to it. If you like compare it to even Souls or something like that, it's it feels a bit.
It's not as drab, which I think is a positive thing.
I mean, it's the environment is like the light. It might be what's making it a bit different, but that vibe was completely lost. The art style and everything, it just made it like generic medieval.
Yeah,
So
like I said, I haven't touched Demon Souls in about a decade, so I don't remember all that much about it. Certainly not what the main theme sounded like. So I didn't really notice much of a difference myself.
and on top of that, from what I hear, I haven't played it. The Shadow of the Colossus remake has several odd choices in terms of graphics and animation. Like one guy was telling me, if you're on the horse and like moving away from the Colossus, your character doesn't even look back at the Colossus. There is no shading from the Colossus to itself. So if it raises its arm, you can't see the shadow of the arm on the Colossus. And all the fog effects were removed. Even though, yeah, sure, in the original, fog effect is gonna hide the draw distance. But at the same time, it was an atmospheric thing. And from what I hear, they removed fog effects completely. So it's kind of, they made a few odd choices in animation and stuff. But, it seems like a very basic thing. But in terms of Demon Souls, considering how the rest of the Souls series went, I suspect they will be making gameplay changes as well.
I hope so, because Demon Souls was kind of rough gameplay-wise, especially compared to the newer ones.
Yeah, the fact that they showed the Ice Mountain is what makes me expect the North to show up, so a different region. But I don't know, we'll see. Not to mention, the name From Software did not show up at all. It doesn't seem like they're involved in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I noticed that they didn't have Sony listed either. So I personally don't think we're going to be seeing Bloodborne here. I know Atlas is showing things off. Persona 4 is pretty much a given. So now,
no, I mean in the Demon Souls thing, I wasn't clear. In the Demon Souls trailer, FromSoft was not mentioned. They're not involved.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's only the studio that remade Shadow of the Colossus.
Huh. That actually kind of makes sense.
I mean, it's a Sony intellectual property, but it's just FromSoft is extremely familiar with the genre.
Well, they're also going to be working on Elden Ring.
Yeah.
You guys can see I'm missing my left eye.
As you could see, he's missing his left eye.
The community that I am a part
So's that guy.
You're unique. Do you not
She's
like anyone else?
cosplaying Scarlet Witch for some reason. Trunks.
I'm currently in a call with my friend, not responding anymore.
He's breathing really hard. You know he just had a seizure.
I built an arcade in my basement. This is my home.
You're in a whole different world. Who cares what size you are, what gender you are?
I'm finally done gluing all the details on the sword.
That's a pretty decent Buster Sword, decent looking Buster Sword.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, the music is much louder than the people. Am I imagining it?
No, that also wasn't part of the stream, seems like. I think we're just getting Twitch commercials now. Oh, no.
No, it is. Twitch has commercials?
I mean, I don't know, because I have a ad block on, but...
You know what would have been hilarious? If they forgot to change the date on that thing after delaying it.
I know, right?
You know what I would love to happen is it's a bait and switch, and it's not Persona 4 Golden, it's just Persona 6.
I mean, I prefer to have Persona 6 on PC than Persona 4. Because, like I keep saying, Persona 4 is by far my least favorite of the new ones.
I mean, I've only really played like most of 3 FES, and that's it. I think they should have made this intro a bit longer. It's not long enough.
Uh-huh.
I really don't like that sound.
It's the PC
It knows
gaming
my
show.
ear.
For the next 2 hours, we'll show you
Oh, 2 hours. I thought it was
more
1.
than 40 games.
Oh, so did I.
The next game from Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ. The world-exclusive debut of gameplay footage for Evil Genius 2. Ruthless combat in Mortal Shell.
Yeah, did you see the gameplay for Mortal Shell?
A total war saga.
No, I did not.
It looked alright. There's a gameplay. UI, as soon as well, within 5 seconds, I was like, font size is way too small, UI elements are small, health bar in the bottom left corner is annoying. Oh, fuck off. Did they really have to put this racist piece of shit here?
Later on, I'll be dropping in again to reveal one of my favorite franchises that's coming to PC for the first time ever. If you can name this tune...
Did they really have to open with this racist piece of shit?
See you later in the show.
Oh, by the way, Persona 4 Golden is actually out on Steam now.
Okay.
So they just played the June S thing as a teaser for something we already know is happening.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the 2020 PC Gaming Show. I am one of your hosts today, Sean Day9 Plot, and I'm delighted to have you wherever you may be tuning in, Twitch or YouTube or Twitter. Welcome to our 6th annual event where we have over 2 hours of content, 50 plus games we're going to be looking at in the form of reveals.
No, he's saying over 200.
That we've recorded in the last several weeks. Before we get into that, though, I want to take a moment to address the ongoing situation in America. While we're glad to be showing you some games today, there are many, many more people fighting for something far...
You just showed a fucking racist before the statement.
...and the systemic oppression of Black Americans. I and everyone who works on the PC Gaming Show each year, we know that Black lives matter, and this is not a fight that we are willing to stand on the sidelines for. So what can we all do? There's a great many organizations that deserve support right now, and one of them is the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund at NAACP.
Oh boy, am I glad that I turned off chat for this.
Great games in the process. Hundreds of developers have joined together at itch.io.
I guarantee you there are going to be some hot fucking takes.
Justice and equality. It's a pay whatever you want for the bundle, and 100% of the proceeds go to the NAACP Fund and the Community Bail Fund. There's a lot more resources and information we'd like to share, so PC Gamer has created an ongoing list of ways that you can get involved in supporting protesters. That's at pcgamer.com/Black Lives Matter. Okay, we're going to begin the reveals in a moment, but this wouldn't be a PC Gaming Show without my dear friend and co-host Frankie Ward joining us from the other side of the internet. Welcome, Frankie, and why don't you say hello?
Hello, Sean, and hello to everyone watching around the world. We're really excited to be with you again, and Sean, I've prepared a veritable smorgasbord of PC gaming interviews, trailers, and announcements. This year's show features the most games we've ever presented, so grab your beverage of choice, because it's go time.
Thanks, Frankie, and I gotta say, your apartment looks quite a bit more like a music video than mine does. Maybe I should have sprung for better lighting. Either way, it's time for the PC Gaming Show. And as I said earlier, 50 plus games. We've been talking to the developers, interviewing them for weeks now. And though it looks kind of empty,
is it just me, or has his hairline receded dramatically since last year?
No, it's just, I think the hair was shorter and therefore...
less noticeable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, it depends on the shape of the head. For some people, it does look less obvious when it's short. Others is the other way around. But really, how tone deaf do you have to be to say Black Lives Matter right after showing that guy?
I actually don't know who the guy at the beginning
It's
is.
Greg Miller. He used to be with IGN. Probably still is. A very close friend with another racist who worked at IGN, but more openly racist, Colin Moriarty.
I see.
And basically, at some point on this guy's show, they were talking about PewDiePie, Notch, and they hand-waved all their racist, homophobic comments as wacky ideas.
Of course.
And then they cut ties with Colin Moriarty because he was a bit outspoken, and they're like, oh, we're shocked by this. How can you be shocked by someone when you've been best friends with him for years? And he doesn't shut up.
So, you're saying that Colin Moriarty is the JonTron of IGN?
Probably more outspoken.
More outspoken than JonTron?
Possibly. I mean, they're all pieces of shit, and once you put shit together, it kind of blends in. So they're kind of
I know next to nothing about Game Grumps, but I do remember hearing that they fired JonTron because they were having trouble getting him to keep a lid on his racism.
I mean, still, some video games decided to use him, like Hat in Time. They decided to use his voice.
I remember they were going to use his voice in, what was it, Ukulele, but
they changed it. And people are losing their shit.
They cut him after all the racism came out.
It's just like, think before putting a statement like that right after it. It's like, hey, maybe look at the people you're talking about instead of, just being a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I forgot. PewDiePie is not racist now because he'd raised about, what was it, 100,000 for Black Lives Matter?
100,000? That's like...
Or something like that.
Compared to what he could have made.
Probably is more, but he didn't actually pay it out of his own pocket. And not to mention, he earned definitely a lot more than that through his racism, so...
Like, H-Bomber guy, unless I'm mistaken, raised a good $500,000 for,
Yeah, but does he have a racist audience who wouldn't support this cause?
I guess that's fair, but whose fault is that?
It's not his fault, he just had a gamer moment, damn it. Oh, this game. I've seen it a few times. Some people are really excited about it.
I've heard more about the shitty developers than the game itself.
Yeah, they're the ones who went with Epic, aren't they?
Yeah, and I remember them kind of not handling the backlash to it very well.
Yeah, they posted a very hand-wavy statement. They tried to make the announcement of shifting to Epic be jokey, but it was kind of really tone deaf.
Yeah.
Sean, I've selected next game for the PC gaming show.
Well, great. What do you got, DevBot?
The game is Torchlight 3, a cherished action RPG franchise.
Oh, hey, Torchlight 3.
Playable classes.
DevBot, you wouldn't have chosen this game because in Torchlight 3 you can play as a steam-powered robot, would you?
My game selections are entirely objective and determined by an algorithm that shows the audience only what it wants to see.
Show me the algorithm, DevBot.
The algorithm is proprietary.
Okay, well, let's play the Torchlight 3 trailer, and when we're done, I want to talk to one of the Torchlight 3 devs.
I like the first two.
I don't think I've actually heard of it.
Torchlight?
Yeah.
I think it's basically what the Diablo 1 devs went on to make after they left Blizzard.
Will you choose fame?
At least that's what I heard back when the first one came out. I don't know exactly how true that is. But they were good, like, isometric action games.
I am not really that much into asymmetric because these games usually use a shit ton of color and everything feels small, that I feel like I'm playing with a radioactive ant colony. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of too many colors on my screen. It's one thing that put me off playing Dead Cells for a while. Even watching it gave me a headache. But when I tried it didn't give me as much of a headache.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Schaefer, Max, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Max, Torchlight 2's story began with the alchemist from the original Torchlight becoming corrupted and evil. How does Torchlight 3's story tie into the first two?
Well, we're in the same world, obviously. We're about a century later now, though, and the Empire.
Century. Wow.
Yes, the Empire is in decline, and they've gotten a little lazy, a little comfortable, and a new threat looms on the horizon. So once again, the adventurers will have to battle the Netherim and all the evil bounties threatening the world.
In terms of the scope and
I mean, I'll probably wait until something spits it
compare
at me for free, but
well, this expanded quite a bit. Now, first, anyone who's played Torchlight,
did someone just tweet like, oh, if Persona is announced, they'll do something, and it's already out, buddy.
It's already out. I mean, they're going to tell us that it's out now, but it's been on Steam for about an hour now.
That are useful to other players, and other players will see your fort randomly out in the world.
I was really thinking of listing my PS TV and whatchamacallit, Persona 4 Golden on eBay again. I bought both on eBay and never actually checked if they work. I mean the game is new, but the console, if we could call it that, is used. So.
Going like right down Main Street with our characters.
Well, you know, now you can sell it and let somebody else figure it out.
I don't think people are gonna buy it.
Intuitive sense of what they do.
Probably not. The only real reason to have Vita at all was to play Persona 4 Golden.
I was saying that to someone, and they're like, "Oh, that's just an extreme view." I was like, "That's pretty much what I hear." I'm not familiar with the PS Vita library, but and hello, BB, how you doing?
How specifically do the forts get
I remember Dryden's Crown came out on it, but that was also on the PS3. So
there will often be a waypoint.
Aside from those two things, I don't really see much for reason to own one. And they're both games you can get on other consoles.
And it's definitely worth exploring their fort because you can not only use things like the luck tree, but you can use their enchanting table and whatever recipes they've unlocked to enchant your own items. So it's really worthwhile for you to go check them out.
Now, pets were a big part of the earlier Torchlight games. What type of pet-based entertainment can we expect?
We have expanded upon the pet system. It does all the things you want. It fights alongside you, goes and takes your items back to town to sell. But we've introduced kind of a collection mechanic. So you can find pets out in the wild by defeating bosses and make a whole stable of pets that you, of course, keep in your fort.
Now, Max,
can I keep a platypus?
Has an enormous fan base.
Probably. I think there was a platypus in one of the earlier ones. I just want to know if there's going to be modding support.
The game gets a pass. Especially if it's an omnipotent platypus.
Go check it out. It's available right this minute.
This is the best kind of answer in the PC gaming show. You can get it now.
So I guess Torchlight 3 is out now, too.
Schaefer from the Torchlight 3 team, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, go to Steam right now to get your hands on the early access version of Torchlight 3. We're just getting started here on the PC Gaming Show. Let's take a look at what's coming up next.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show. Coming up later, an exclusive look at the next game from DayZ creator Dean Hall, Blanco's Block Party, the first reveal of Sound Mind, and more. Back to you, Sean. Back to you, Sean.
Well, hey everyone, I hope you're having a great time.
Back to you, Sean, twice.
Back to you, Sean.
How much fun you're having, but don't shout. The walls are very thick in here.
We're doing a dry run here.
Use the PC Gaming Show hashtag on Twitter or Facebook or the PC
why are
or a Ouija board or a
they put the Twitter up
whatever is your
for
desired
about
form
the
of
nope.
communication. I'm sure you've been seeing many of those comments show up live in the show today. And we want your hottest 280 character take.
By the way, how is the sound, BB? All balanced? Everything good?
For our next segment, it's time to head on over to Frankie Ward.
Elite Dangerous, the space simulation MMO from Frontier, has continued to evolve over.
I don't know if I'd call it an MMO.
Set in a one-to-one recreation of our actual Milky Way galaxy, players forge their
Right.
own path,
Thanks,
build
BB.
and break alliances, trade, fight, and earn the rank of Elite. Join us as we journey into the next era of Elite Dangerous, set to take a giant leap once more.
She has a good dentist.
She has a great dentist. Pre-alpha in-engine footage. So this is what, Elite Dangerous 2, I'm guessing?
Yeah, maybe. Also, I just remembered that we always comment on people's teeth every year, don't we?
Yeah, we kind of do. Especially hers.
No, not like last time it was an EA person.
I don't think EA is doing anything this year, are they?
Your milkshake.
I just
drink it up.
Star Wars game.
Thanks for the host, BB. Much appreciated.
Yay. Odyssey.
Can we put a hold on 2 words not to use in video game for maybe 5 years? Souls and Odyssey. Can we please have that?
The next chapter of Elite Dangerous is Piers Jackson from Frontier.
Like, how many games with Odyssey in the name?
Now, I have a lot of questions.
Well, there's Mario, there's Assassin's Creed,
There is a Oddworld remake.
So I think the best way of explaining what Elite Dangerous is to understand how big it is. We have created a type
I'm not going crazy, right? Gameplay and music is a lot louder than the people.
It's the whole galaxy. You can explore it. You can take your own. You can be a pilot.
I don't know, I'm hearing his voice, but it's kind of tinny.
Yeah, it is. It's still better than what IGN did, which was talk to people live. So it's like people are talking over each other via Zoom, presumably, and it's just like, yeah.
There's a lot of focus on the economy and trading. In this trailer,
I'm trying to keep an eye out on the tweets below because was it 2 years ago where one guy posted, "Oh, all these amazing games coming to the Epic Game Store. I better add them all to my shopping cart." And they posted it there, thinking it's praise. It was praise, but it wasn't actually praise. It was a joke poking fun at the fact there is no shopping cart in the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, that was last year, I'm pretty sure.
And they missed it. Whoever is showing the... Dude, if Persona drops on PC, my life is just gone. It's out on PC, buddy. Go play it.
Now, you can, like, look at Steam. It's out on Steam.
And it's not like it was a shocker. We knew about this, what, a week ago?
And obviously, you can play this in multiplayer, so you'll be able to join up with your friends. You can experience the game from the
I wanted to do a Persona playthrough of every Persona game, including the original.
I don't think it's streamed very well, to be honest.
I think it gives
We'll see. It takes a shit ton of hours to play.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I played Xenoblade, and that took me over 120 hours, so...
Xenoblade plays fucking giant.
I think the games that took the longest for me overall was... Well, actually, it might be Xenoblade 2. The game I streamed most. Xenoblade 2, because I played it twice, and both times were over 100 hours. I didn't finish it the first time, but that's irrelevant.
Right.
So that's over 200 hours, which is over 10% of my total stream time on my channel.
Where can players go to
Looks like Baldur's Gate 3 was shown at something else today.
Oh, was it?
You can join
Huh.
in with
Yeah,
us.
the
Download it
Guerrilla
on
Collective,
Steam
something
or
like
go
that.
to the Frontier store or purchase it on console. We have many people playing it. In terms of Odyssey, you can expect to see that next year.
I hope you all enjoyed that conversation about.
Yeah, I heard that too, baby. It's like the second one has 2 parts to it. There is Eternal Sin, I think, and Punishment or something like that.
Yeah, the first one is Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment.
Ah, for fuck's sake, get this asshole off my screen.
I'll give the PC Gaming Show back to its usual host in a moment, but I couldn't let anyone else announce the next trailer, which is a game near and dear to my heart. Let's take a look.
Looks like this guy is yeah, we know. Looks like this guy is hosting the Guerrilla Collective thing.
Oh my god, Persona 4 Golden on Steam!
Gasp. It's only been up for like an hour and a half now.
I'm so glad they had the racist announce it. Okay, one important thing. If they didn't add subtitles to the cutscenes for Persona 4 Golden, then they suck.
Is available now
yeah.
on Steam. If you haven't played this, now you have no excuse. Persona 4 Golden is a masterpiece.
I kind of wanted to play it on PC, but just this guy's face put me off.
I'll probably pick it up at some point. It's like $20, which is a fine price for it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that was weird. I thought this live stream was supposed to be secure.
I'm analyzing the security breach now, Sean. I'm not sure what could have happened.
Sean's acting is as good as the voice acting in Xenoblade 2.
Our next trailer reveals an all-new psychological horror game coming to PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X early next year. In Sound Mind will challenge your expectations as it ushers you through the deepest corners of your psyche. It sounds like every night before I go to sleep, honestly. The game also...
Oh no, mods for Persona 4 Golden. Oh god, some people are gonna make some very twisted stuff, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I bet if you go to the Nexus, there's already a naked mod.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be one, and then they're gonna take it down, and then some guy will go, actually, the legal age in Japan. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then they'll post Lover's Lab or something.
They say fear is just a state of mind. A locked door that traps you inside it.
BB, in this channel, there is never a bright side to anything. Well, except yesterday we discussed the possibility of Onimusha starring Danny DeVito, and that's a bright side.
Yeah.
Except it's not gonna happen, so there is a dark side to it too.
I mean, it looks kind of cool.
It looks like...
Hey everyone, I'm Ito, producer at We Create Stuff.
It gave me Dreams vibes. I know it's not the same game, but the light
We've partnered with Modus Games
effect.
and The Living Tombstone, and we're working on a new indie horror game, In Sound Mind.
Demo is now out on Steam.
I love how they're arranged in decreasingly happy faces.
How did you get here today anyways?
Well, Sean, my sleep state was interrupted when I realized I was late to this year's PC gaming show, so naturally, I panicked. I had to improvise about how to reach our undisclosed broadcasting location before you began the show.
The undisclosed broadcasting location in Day 9's apartment.
I mean, it might be his bunker.
I tried to hitchhike.
Social distancing and hitchhiking don't mix.
But ever since the 1991 documentary Terminator 2, no one...
Oh god, that face for Day 9 is gonna be a meme. I can see it already. If it doesn't become a meme, I will turn it into one.
Cool. Hey, let's take a look.
It's gonna replace the Craigasm on Twitch. You know what I love about the PC gaming show? They make it a point to show games that can only be played on PC due to the graphical intensity of it.
Or just how it's played, like, gameplay-wise.
I'm being sarcastic mostly because it's never about the graphical and
Oh, right.
fidelity.
I forgot that you are always negative 100% of the time. And
I can't read that font because my brain is processing it as Arabic and also English.
I mean, it's kind of Arabic script.
It is using Arabic letters, but it doesn't mean anything in Arabic. Surely they could have, you know, redesigned the way it's written and could have used it as well in both languages.
Train armies to fend off deadly trolls and rival clans. The Dwarfheim demo is live right now on Steam. Let's see what the game is all about.
I might end up doing a stream if the demos that are out from the not E3 events.
They try to protect what little they have.
I mean, I might try the Insound Mine demo. Looked pretty cool.
And last year I did that. Last year I think I only played Skatebird, Carrion, and what was it? The turn-based RPG made by Colombian studio.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
The art style for that one looked really good.
It did. I like the idea. I don't think it's out yet, is it?
No, just the demo was out.
Right. Did it die?
Now, let's take a look at the lineup of games and game updates coming from indie publisher New Blood Interactive.
You know, this 2 hours is gonna be shitty if they don't show Silksong.
I was gonna say it's gonna be shitty if they don't show Bloodborne. This looks like.
Okay, imagine they do announce Bloodborne. Let's come up with possible negative ways they could do that. Bloodborne, gacha game?
Bloodborne 2K20.
Okay, yeah, that was microtransactions. Let's see, what else? Bloodborne first person.
Royale.
Oh, Bloodborne Battle Royale. Yeah, you're out on the hunt. You know what? Being out on the hunt is might actually be interesting, but not as a Battle Royale. Yeah, it wouldn't actually be bad as a multiplayer game if it's a hunt and you're in a group.
What, Bloodborne? Bloodborne's already multiplayer.
No, I mean as in, you know, the hunt they do all the time in the game. You're basically a group out hunting beasts.
Oh, yeah, hunt, showdown or some shit like that.
No, I mean in Bloodborne, the hunt they have in Bloodborne.
No, but there's actually a game like that. I saw on Steam, Hunt Showdown. Basically, you're a group of monster hunters, but you're also competing with each other.
That's quite a lineup from New Blood, and with us now is the New Blood CEO, Dave Oshry, to talk about it. Dave, what the hell was that all about?
Yeah, so we got a lot going on.
He said the
right?
New
I mean,
Blood
some guys come out here,
CEO.
they show, like, some cinematic
Part of me
trailers,
heard
they
it
come out in
as
a year.
the new CEO of the Bloods. I was like, wait, the gang has a CEO?
Why not?
Imagine the Bloods having a CEO and they come to PC Gaming Show.
Considering exactly how corporatized everything is these days, why wouldn't a gang or like a mob or something have a CEO?
Crazy, it's like the thing.
That's late stage capitalism. Even the crime organizations have a CEO.
Our new retro shooter with style. If you like games like Devil May Cry and Quake, that's what that's about. And then of course,
I would not be thinking of Devil May Cry when I see that.
No.
Reminds me of a certain person who compared The Last of Us 2 with Schindler's List.
A medieval at I can't believe it's not Hexen.com. Maximum
I can't believe it's not Hexen.com.
Basement at deaderspace.com. That's deaderspace.com. Faith at GaryLovesYou.com. Ultrakill at DevilMayQuake.com. And then, of course, Gloomwood at ThiefWithGuns.com. Yeah, that's all we got. 6 games. You can play them all.
Couldn't they have adjusted the camera a little bit so his eyes show in the gap? It just bugs me that it wasn't his eyes in that gap.
Let's see what Frankie has for us next.
And yes, I'm being picky.
Thank you, Sean.
You're always picky.
PC gamers, have you ever
Not when it comes to noses. I never pick
Not
noses.
your browser history, that's easy, and
No.
but how about something grander? Like discovering America, mastering flight, or inventing the computer a couple of hundred years earlier. Humankind is an upcoming historical strategy game where you'll be combining up to 60 different cultures to create a civilization that's as unique as you are. And as with all of their previous titles, Amplitude is asking the community to participate in the development of Humankind to help make it the best
Hang
game.
on, Amplitude.
Let's see how they're inviting PC gamers to
Oh,
help
shit.
build this worldly game.
Oh shit, I might actually be into that.
You're into a lot of weird shit.
Well, yeah. I'm into... I haven't even discussed with you what all the shit I'm into is, but...
And yeah, some weird video games too, but yeah.
Yeah. I actually really like the Endless series.
I am not familiar with it.
It's basically 4X, except every race plays completely differently.
Why is the word dev not centered on the screen? And why am I so picky about things that are completely irrelevant and won't show up for longer than half a second?
Are you sure you want to go back to playing Killer 7?
I mean, you saw me when I spoke about Killer 7.
Yeah.
I was like, the font is shaking. No.
And it got worse from there.
Yeah. They really hate dyslexics.
Yeah.
Well, you heard the trailer. You need to go to opendev.gamestogether.com so you can...
If I were to have a drinking game for this, and I don't drink, I think one of the things I would list there is a video game by Konami, because I know it will never happen. What do you mean nothing excited you, BB? I mean, like, look at Sean's back.
That make up PC gaming modders have
yeah.
Impact. My next guest is Dean Hall, a designer who started out as a modder and eventually helped lay the foundation for 2 of the most popular genres on PC: survival and battle royale. Let's take a look.
Okay, here's the thing. Why is he talking at a slight angle to the camera most of the time? There isn't anyone there. He's not even looking at the robot. It's like he's...
I don't know. Maybe he sees everything a foot to the left of where it actually is.
Yeah, maybe. This is reminding me of Observation already. Have you played that?
No, but I haven't.
I streamed it for a little bit, I think an hour, and then realized, yeah, it's not a game for streaming, to be honest.
Right.
That's a fucking weird rat, lizard, squirrel hybrid.
So this is the survival battle royale, right?
Maybe. I don't really do survival games all that much. I can barely feed myself in real life. Don't tell me to feed other people.
I don't know. The pictures of the food you send me every day looks pretty good.
Made pizza today. Mostly because it has leftover cheese.
Lately.
Pardon?
You've been making a lot of pizza lately.
No, it's just I made cheese and I didn't want it to go bad, you know, no preservatives or anything like that. So.
Of course.
Dean, thanks so much for joining us.
But now I have about 1.5 liters of milk, and it's meant to expire tomorrow. I have no fucking clue what to do with it. And part of me went, maybe I should make cheese.
Wow, where does his next stop and his head begins?
Capture that and then basically build a game where you can do that over
Who needs a neck?
time, and you can progress through the survival experience. So it was really getting back to the roots of what a survival game
Man, that's a jaw.
makes those moments that you get in them really intense and emotional.
You can slice a pizza with that, Joe.
Like the basic loop. If I just open up the game, do I start out on the ship itself?
If you think about the orbital station as your apartment,
or like break down a wall with it.
Invite your friends in and prepare for what we call a drop, and then you select a prospect. And
it looks, I don't want to say chiseled, it looks like he attached a piece of, like a brick to his face.
Let's say I'm on a 30-minute mission. I have a particular resource I've set out to snatch up. How does the gameplay of that 30-minute period differ from other survival games?
I suppose there were 3 key things that I felt needed to be addressed.
Also, is he at the office or at home? If he's at the office, then why the fuck is he at the office during the lockdown? If he's at home, why does he have so much money that he's living next to a pier?
It looks like a green screen to me.
No, there is definitely a reflection on the glass.
There's a reflection, but I honestly can't
No,
see
the flag in the background is it's not a still green screen. Maybe it's animated like
there's a bird flying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Aside from that, there's no real movement.
The flags are moving with the wind.
I was a little surprised to hear that there are 20-minute drops as well as
I love how they're discussing gameplay details, and we're just discussing whether the guy has a green screen behind him or not.
I guess he got that DayZ money.
We're really just introducing you to.
Is the main guy cosplaying Disco Elysium's lead? What's going on?
You're only going to be facing the game during the day. As you progress on, you can take on and get access to prospects that have much longer drop windows, but that means you're getting a cycle of day-night. And night, particularly for most of our biomes, is definitely the most dangerous.
I want to ask a little bit about what failure means in Icarus. I mean, in the trailer there was someone that fell down and you just ominously
come on,
the dangers of being left behind on
D9. You could have said, I want to ask what failure is. I've never experienced it in my life. Say something in a, like that.
Alright, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to get a beer.
Okay, you're out of your beer already?
What's that? No, I haven't started. I wasn't going to drink during this, but to be honest, I think I kind of need it.
Yeah.
With Icarus, we've chosen one failure.
Okay, now that he's gone, let's keep count of how many beers it takes for him to start praising everything on the screen.
We wanted to make that terrifying, and that's why our tagline is, there are worse fates than death. So, it's getting left behind. If you miss your rendezvous window with the orbital station, then that's it. Everything that you've deployed on there, your character and all that
30.
progression of that character and all that equipment is just gone.
My experience with drinking is non-existent, so I can't even tell whether that's a good number or a bad number.
If you get attacked by this
Probably a bad number. 30 if anything is bad.
Someone can heal you, but if you run out of time, it's over.
I'm curious. I mean, there's so many elements. There's so much ambition. I know there's a lot of PC gamers that maybe feel like you abandoned DayZ, other projects. What do you have to reassure those people that you're committed to Icarus?
Well, I think a big thing for me is Bohemia was an existing company, and I definitely felt like I was pulling them in a direction that was hard for them to go.
I mean, that's kind of
they probably felt like they were pulling me in a direction that I didn't want
good
to go.
question, except maybe Trump would call it a nasty question. But yeah, from what I hear, DayZ was abandoned.
The solution there was to
I haven't played it. I mean, it's a zombie thing. I'm not really too big on the zombie stuff.
Skilled people, and we managed to assemble, I think, definitely one of the best teams I've ever worked with. An exceptional concept team through to a technical and production team as well.
Well, I know there's a ton of people that are interested in my very
next question. The issue I have with the PC gaming show is they repeat they show you the footage of the game initially, and then they have an interview that drags on, and it's spliced with bits of the trailer we've already seen, not something else. Like, I would prefer it if they talk about the gameplay and then show more gameplay, or talk about the trailer a bit more, explain what the things are showing, not just maybe they'll get bored seeing two men talk.
So at the moment, we're really sort of...
yeah, the pacing is not really good, and it's always the same problem every year.
Awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Dean Hall from Rocket Works for the upcoming survival game Icarus. For our next game, let's head to Frankie.
When you're an evil supervillain, it's important to have your own sense of style. What? Evil cat psychics are so 2019. Evil Genius 2 asks players
I mean, 2 years ago it was alright. The thing is, E3 as a whole was getting really dull.
RGB lighting?
The good thing about E3 was when developers were the ones talking and not the business people. And the developers were mostly people who were really awkward and should not be put in front of a camera. So a lot of funny mistakes happen. If you want to watch something that's the best thing that E3 has ever done, watch the Konami 2010 press conference. It doesn't matter that it was 10 years ago. It is still one of my favorite comedy films of all time. It was, when it was streaming back then, it was on Konami's website. And initially no one was watching it. And then the more it went on, the more word of how bad it was spread. And the site went down because too many people were watching it.
I'm back. What'd I miss?
Welcome back.
Fortnite?
Evil Genius 2?
Huh. Oh, right. That's a thing that was announced last year, wasn't it?
Maybe? I don't know. Man, I can only keep track of one Evil Genius at a time.
Yeah.
Well, but we were saying how the pacing of the PC gaming show is always off. Like, they show a trailer, and then they talk and talk and talk to a person while, you know, showing bits and pieces of the same trailer you saw. And it's like the interview drags on. I mean, there was a fair question where he asked him, how do people know you're not going to abandon it like your other games? But he gave a waffly answer and moved on. And also, I was praising old E3 because it had awkward developers talking instead of business people, and they always made mistakes, and it made it really hilarious. Because the best thing about E3 is being able to make fun of it. If it's so boring you can't make fun of it, it's not really fun anymore.
Counterplay Games is going to give us a guided tour of the battle for Aperion. And keen observers.
I was also saying Konami 2010 was the epitome of a hilarious E3 show.
Armor look oh so gorgeous. You can go over to the Epic Games.
I watch it like every couple of years, just to laugh.
This holiday season, but for now, let's take a look.
I mean, what other events were there to compare the PlayStation to? There's a Microsoft one I didn't watch, but from what they announced, it doesn't seem like there was anything worth talking about.
My name is Keith Lee.
I am the game director. I didn't watch either. I didn't really pay much attention to what came out.
I mean, the only reason to watch Microsoft these days is to know what games you're gonna play on your PC.
Into the mystical world of Godfall. Please enjoy.
Oh, this is the
still in development.
Gearbox thing.
Yeah.
And improve in the final product, including visuals and performance. Godfall is set in a brand new high fantasy universe.
They could have gotten a lot more hype if they had Randy Pitchford talk about it.
Realms.
Yeah, totally.
Realms of earth, water, air, and fire. You play a Valorian knight, a godlike warrior able to equip valor plates.
This looks a lot like Kingdoms of Amalur.
That's also getting a remaster, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought the developer to that went bankrupt.
Yeah, but they announced a remaster recently. I'm pretty sure.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's called Re-Reckoning.
Each with their own characteristics.
All right.
And long history.
Let me double check.
I guess they have to pay Rhode Island back for the money they
yeah.
took.
My baby is saying it is getting a remaster as well. Yeah, it's called Re-Reckoning. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And launch 18th of August, so in about 2 months.
I mean...
in addition to the standard edition, which will be sold for $40, there'll be a collector's edition for $110, also known as Pay Back Our Debt, Please edition.
The Rhode Island edition.
I don't know about hoping for a second one. From what I hear, it has a decent cult following, but it wasn't universally acclaimed or anything.
I mean, it reviewed well, and it was a good game. It's just, it didn't sell.
Now next up, when PC gamers think
Also, I just remembered, Randy Pitchford. Have you heard about the tweet he deleted about the protests?
No.
I'm quoting. If you want to kill some pig calves this weekend, here is the Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Word Tool. And he links the Steam page.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He took it down, but the internet remembers. It's there on the archive.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is that's a very Pitchford move because it alienates both sides.
Yeah.
It's like one side is gonna go, why are you advertising this game, when, it's a serious matter. And the other side goes, oh, you're supporting, you're going against cops. And, it's a very Pitchford move to alienate everyone.
He's throwing... people are going to... Well, not people, but, Republicans.
He's pissing on the right while simultaneously getting diarrhea on the left.
Yeah. Because, this looks really cool.
Pissing and having diarrhea looks really cool.
No. Thing. I was trying to be positive for a change, psych. No, it's basically it's throwing more fuel onto the fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, is this the... No, it's not. For a second, I thought it was, the Messenger developer is doing a turn-based RPG.
No, I didn't.
It's set in the same universe as The Messenger. But the composer is also the same one for... I think, Mitsuda, the guy who composed Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger.
I love.
Oh, I know. I recognize them now. They made Zelda's Story. I fucking loved Zelda's Story.
Final Fantasy Tactics back in the 90s. All right, but we're not done with Humble Games yet. Their lineup, as it turns out,
I started a lot of like strategy RPGs games in the past, and I haven't finished a lot of them.
Oh, I love strategy RPGs.
A gorgeous top-down puzzler.
I haven't finished Final Fantasy Tactics, for example.
So this is Don't Starve, except cuter.
What? This is my house, and this lady must be my wife. What? I'm not sure if that's. I'm not sure if that statement is saying, "Oh, I guess she's my wife," or "She must be my wife, and I'll make her my wife." I think I've started Final Fantasy Tactics 3 times, and never finished it.
I really like Final Fantasy Tactics. If you played Fire Emblem, it's basically...
I've never played Fire Emblem. You see, my issue in games a lot of the time is, on top of me, I said before, I play a jack of all trades. I hate it when games lock out certain things depending on your choice. Most of the time, I don't have the time to go back and replay a game. So going, using this weapon, I guess you'll never use the other weapon in the game. I was like, it's why I didn't really play the international version of Final Fantasy 12, because I don't want to lock myself to one job. And then
I didn't play the international version of Final Fantasy 12 because I didn't like Final Fantasy 12. But
Have you upgraded to Service Pack 2 yet?
so it's the same thing as like permadeath, because you're not sure I want that.
Greetings, PC gamers.
It's a lot more forgiving than Fire Emblem.
Commandeering this broadcast to deliver an important...
Like, you actually have time to get to your guy to resurrect them or stuff like that.
I'm just kidding. It's me, Joe Coogan. And I can take over this broadcast.
What was it? Tyler was telling me about Washington Post review of Command & Conquer Remaster. And it's complaining that it's the same as the original.
What did they expect?
It's like, oh, look, the guy is the same and everything, and
oh, fucking, it's shit because it's too much like Dune Battle for Arrakis.
And I want to see the reviews of EA Sports games.
Thanks for letting me interrupt. You guys enjoy the rest of the show. For the glory of Nod.
You would think those people like have better internet and camera set up at home.
Perhaps you're one of the lucky owners of
Well, has Kane actually been in anything in the past like 20 years?
I don't know. I don't know who Kane is, so
collecting, customizing, and trading, but it's also a highly social playground for creativity, one where you can make your own.
Kane was the leader of the evil faction in Command & Conquer. World exclusive.
There was an evil faction. Also, world exclusive, that's one thing that Microsoft started, and now people are using it. What the fuck does world exclusive mean? Like, oh, we're not showing this to other planets?
Hey, at least they're using the word exclusive now. Sony was afraid to say anything.
No, I would rather have them not say anything over using the word exclusive when it doesn't mean exclusive. The worst culprit is Microsoft. Oh, exclusive. Right. Except it's also on PC. But oh, that's the Microsoft ecosystem. But world exclusive doesn't mean anything. Like, what is world? Like, either say platform exclusive or don't say it. Yeah, world premiere is another one. It's like,
Oh.
Bring us the inside look at
World exclusive doesn't mean anything. Like
World premiere does sound a lot better.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
I would love if you could just address what is.
By the way, it looks like Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to early access in August.
Kind of come into life and where they go when a human leaves the room.
Which I will buy immediately and then probably sell my soul to.
Come together.
I love how the developers just now said, "Oh, the idea came about when we thought what they would do when a human leaves the room." So, Toy Story?
Toy Story, yeah.
Like, just say, "Oh, we saw Toy Story. We love Toy Story. We tried, to do something that borders the idea of, everything moves when the human is not in the room."
I mean, everybody loves Toy Story, but
I mean, just say that. It's not a crime to say it.
I mean,
although then again, Disney might lose their shit over someone mentioning their IP.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just a great collection. And what's kind of super cool is all of those toys work with each other. So you could build a race, and then you could drop some guns in it, and it can be a race, but you can pick up.
I mean, the guy in his cupboard looks extremely bored and disappointed.
Yeah.
I've also seen in games like Fortnite these in-game events.
Yeah, I think Game Awards did like world premiere, but Game Awards is one thing I don't really watch because it's just a massive advert. It's the Super Bowl of video games.
Yeah. Content, whether that's a music concert, whether it's a movie trailer, whether it's something no one's seen yet. But absolutely, that we're definitely thinking about that kind of stuff.
Well, talk to me about the number of different designs. Like, where are these designs coming from? How many are there?
We're not talking about numbers in season 1 just yet, but we are talking about the artists. So we're really stoked we've been able to work with certainly my favorites that I've been buying the vinyl toys of over the years. So John Paul Kaiser is a great artist from the UK. I ended up buying some of his toys in New York about 6 years ago, and now we get to work together and bring his toys to life in the game, which has been great fun. James Groman, who I think...
Why not show the name of the artist you're collaborating with on the screen? You're showing the work, you're mentioning the name.
They're Funko Pops.
I know people are going to want more information. They're going to want
Gears
to
of
know
War Funko
when
Pop.
they can play Blankos, when they can see.
Oh, Bloodborne Funko Pop. That's one thing they could do.
I think it exists.
Oh, it does? But not as a video game.
End of the year, so not too far away now, but we're also going to be starting to look for our beta at some point soon as well. So if you get registered, we might be able to get you in that.
Jamie from Mythical, thank you so much for joining us.
Lego Bloodborne.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Only on PC.
I would play Lego Bloodborne. Come on.
Let's take a look at what's coming up next at this year's PC Gaming Show.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show, presented by PC Gamer. Stay tuned for more trailers, announcements, and footage. Coming up later, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of A Total War. What's next in Escape from Tarkov? The reveal of horror strategy game Rogue Lords. And more.
Oh, have you heard the
PC is
what was it? Slay the Spire is on iOS now.
Was it?
Yeah, I think they announced that today.
What they announced?
Slay the Spire.
Oh, right, Slay the Spire.
Yeah, so now on Apple phones. Yay.
Yay, I haven't touched it yet.
I played it for my indie week. It was okay.
Here's Everspace 2.
I haven't touched it because I don't often care for deck building games.
I've never played a deck builder. Like, Donna was asking me, oh, have you played a deck builder before? I was like, does Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories count?
Well, I play Fate Grand Order, and that's technically a deck building game, I guess, but it's more visual novel than deck building, to be honest. I think this is another game I have that I just never touched.
I think today is also... Was it? No, not today. Yesterday? Which day was it? Epic Game Store changes a free game. I think it's Ark Survival now. Or something like that.
I have a friend who used to play that. I'm sure I could get her to play it again if I ever touched it, which I probably won't, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
My Steam library has... Fuck. View my profile, I guess. I have 812 games on Steam, so there's a lot that I'm never going to get to.
I don't think I have 12 games on Steam.
What, do you just pirate everything?
No, it's just like, I mean, some games I end up getting PC, like Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, I just get it from Uplay, things like that. And I think like 2 of the games that I have in my library are actually free games, or were free at some point.
Alright. You have 23 games.
Oh. Interesting. What?
What's going on?
Did they hear it? Like, is it a pattern where I mentioned something like the diarrhea and it just shows up on screen afterwards?
Clearly. Wow, I hate it.
I mean, the art style could be interesting.
PC gamers,
I guess.
If a horse shows up at your door and you don't remember ordering a horse, it's probably best to keep the door shut. One of the coolest things about a Total War Saga Troy, the next game from Creative Assembly, is that it will enable players to experience multiple different versions of how the iconic battle went down.
Total War?
Yeah.
That mythical horse actually...
Also, why doesn't he wear plain black socks? It's been bugging me all along, and I just had to say something.
Probably because Day 9 is a wacky, wacky dude.
Oh, silver-tongued Odysseus. There is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction.
Oh, remember when you said that they should ban the name Odyssey from video games?
Yeah.
Well, this is a Total War Saga Odysseus, or the Odyssey.
For fuck's sake.
Hey, at least this is actually based on the Odyssey.
Yeah, like, you know, just delayed by 5 years. We said 5 years.
Okay, if you want to make a game about the Odyssey, what would you call this game about the Odyssey? You play as Odysseus, which the name Odysseus would also be a breaking of that law because it's where the Odyssey is derived from.
Yeah. I don't know. Delay it by 5 years. I don't care.
That's your answer.
Sneak troops into the city in a vast horse.
Pissing in Poseidon's eye.
Under the cloak of darkness, use guerrilla tactics to sabotage the unbreachable city.
Travels.
Puncturing Polypheus. Cersei
Shit that didn't happen.
In a land ravaged by earthquakes, patience is rewarded. Send your troops forward.
Trojan War 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Trojan War 2, because the first Trojan was not big enough.
The first Trojan horse wasn't big enough. Oh, it's called Troy, so it's...
That was a Total War Saga Troy.
The Iliad.
In 2021. And hey, speaking of sneaking in big surprises, a master of segue. This year, we've teamed up with Intel to build.
Oh, I just had a great idea to make Demon's Souls remake even better.
Found in the game, DevBot.
Oh yeah.
Havoc engine.
Havoc engine?
The same engine they used for the original.
Make it a remake like Xenoblade Definitive's a remake.
Intel's CPU, the 10th
That would be hilarious. It's like Havoc Engine was shit. Remember the Dark Souls PC release and how it had issues with frame rate and stuff like that, and you had to use DS Fix for it? Yeah, that's because Havoc Engine was used.
Actually, the only place I had frame rate issues were in the Abyss and in Blighttown. But actually, Blighttown ran better than it did on the Xbox version.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, I played it on PC. Demon Souls might. I would be interested to see how the Valley of Defilement runs. Hopefully, it doesn't fuck up.
I remember some frame rate issues in Demon Souls.
Yeah, the Valley of Defilement was a little iffy. Not as bad as Bloodtown, but
yeah.
I still think Valley of Defilement in Pure Black Tendency was a fucking nightmare.
Brian Carter, a PC modder with over a decade and a half.
Oh, he's going into the in-depths of how they're coding.
This epic artifact. DevBot, cue it up.
Hey, my name is Brian Carter, and I've been building custom PC mods for over 16 years. I'm working with Intel.
What's going on? How? They're still talking about Troy.
Yeah, it's like a custom GPU, I guess.
Video series as I take you through each stage of the Scratch build process.
And it's showing
We
this
begin with
build
the inspiration
process.
and design phase, where we figure out how to take the amazing design assets from a Total War Saga Troy and functionalize them to house our best-in-class components.
I personally think using a 3D printer is cheating.
And test this one-of-a-kind PC. A big thank you to Intel and Creative for letting me work on this incredible and challenging project.
Sorry, I dozed off.
Oh, it looks so good. And I have some good news. Episode 1 is available now, and I have even better news.
Oh, it's episodic.
Yay!
I'm so tired of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, they wouldn't do something like that for a series like Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy VII is never finishing, by the way.
I would love it if it never finishes. Not because I don't want it to continue or anything, but just to see how many people end up bitching and moaning about it for decades.
Yeah, well, remember, it took him 15 years to make about 10% of the game.
10% is being kind of generous, I think.
I wanted to give him some credit.
This is the world reveal of Remnant from the Ashes, subject 2923. Available.
Oh, also, don't forget, it's like a tiny portion of the game, and he somehow managed to add padding to it.
So, a expansion to Remnant from the Ashes?
Yeah, or DLC, or whatever. Like this, like the voice is way too quiet. It's not just me, right?
No, it is.
I was kind of interested in this when they announced it for like maybe 5 minutes. Then I kind of like, yeah.
I'll buy it at some point for like $10-15.
People were saying it's like not really all that good when you're playing
solo.
Yeah, so I didn't bother.
The new Remnant from the Ashes content looks fantastic. And you know what else is fantastic? Hearing the opinions of strangers from the internet. Nothing makes
Why did how did they not go? Wait, why not focus on the fan for the GPU we made earlier? And and that's a segue from fantastic. I mean, come on.
Now for our next title, we have to look at classic remasters. Capcom has been updating the original Resident Evil games, and in the same vein, 2K is now updating Mafia. The original Mafia trilogy is getting a full.
For a second, they're like, Capcom, what? Are they going to talk about Resident Evil? Nope. 2K. Like, what the?
Yeah.
Why mention Capcom then?
We got a brand
For a moment, I thought he was going to announce the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
But
I mean, every game company is doing a remake and a remaster. It's like, why single out Capcom?
I mean, they were big back in the GameCube, PS2 era, but...
And what's it to you? Case must be getting pretty cold by now.
I think the problem is, in a lot of cases, the video game like industry tries and copies the same patterns as movie industry. Once they start doing remakes of films, the same thing. When they were focusing on like samurai films, they started doing it's the same pattern. They end up following the same phases, and now it's just a remake phase. Have you seen the remaster of Mafia 2?
Dan Bot, after a beautiful trailer like that, I
think I just did.
A remaster of 2. That was a remake of 1.
No.
The remaster of 2 is not that good technically. I mean, on top of the font size being a bit too small, shadows sometimes just don't show up at all.
The president and CEO of Hangar 13, it is Hayden Blackman. Hayden, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for people who haven't played the original Mafia, which is a 2002 release, talk to us about this game.
So it's a remake of Mafia.
Yeah.
Mafia from 2002, which is a seminal game.
My brain still hears 2000. I'm like, that's not really that old.
Tommy Angelo, who is a cab driver that falls in with
good 18 years now.
Actually, during the height of Prohibition, in a city called Los
Yeah,
Angeles, which is
it's only 2000s. It's not that
and as a
old.
member of the crime family, he really gets.
I mean, it's old enough to drink.
Yeah, it's not that old.
Tommy's evolution from cab driver to
Don't make us sound old. We're still young and innocent.
10 years we've seen,
of course,
HD editions, remasters that are more graphical updates, but my understanding is that this is far more than just a new coat of paint on a game from 2002. Talk to me about what a remake means.
Everything was rebuilt, so every asset, every cinematic was reshot, and all the gameplay was completely redone. Now, we've kept all the same big beats from the original game. The story is the same for the most part. All the big plot points are there. All the missions are there and represented. But again, everything was completely rebuilt from the ground up, in order to kind of meet the expectations of today's gamers and take advantage of today's technology.
The location in pretty much every open world game is a central character. In 2002, we have seen a ton of gameplay changes between then and now, 2020. Can you talk a little bit about some of the ways you've updated the open world setting and maybe some of the new mechanics that players can expect?
So we do that a number of different ways. You know, one, we looked at how populated can we make it, and we took some of the kind of...
I would love it if 2K goes, yeah, one of the ways we changed it was fuel. You need fuel for your car. But in order to get fuel, you have to pay $5.
You know, Mafia, the Definitive Edition.
Go full 2K on it.
Yeah.
So it's more fun to drive around. You know, do we need to widen the streets? Do we need to make sure that there's not as many, 90-degree turns so that you can kind of coast around corners? And
intersections are all 90-degree turns.
The things that we want to do to make sure that the roads have, grip.
Well, technically, it could be an intersection without a roundabout with multiple exits.
You engage with the city is through driving.
It's more than 4 exits.
Building things from the ground up, I gotta ask you about the cinematics.
Of course.
They look gorgeous in the trailer. And I mean, what was the process of?
Roundabouts have been popping all over the place.
Also, not even if it's just like a normal intersection, it's probably more of the case in the US because it's a newer country. But you go to Europe, most roads are not going to be 90 degrees to each other.
So we really wanted to take advantage of that.
I guess.
The Definitive Edition. So we did go in and we rewrote all the cinematics.
Unless you're in a city or something.
Language and add some of that.
No, even in cities in Europe, it's
going for without losing
because it doesn't really follow the blocks system of the US.
Yeah.
When can we play Mafia Definitive Edition, and where can people go right now to learn more?
Sure. So we are looking at an August 28th launch date, and we still, have a ways to go, and we're working on that kind of final polish push right now. But I'm really confident.
Need I remind you that we are almost 3/4 of the way through this.
After seeing the trailer, I personally am hyped. Hey,
are
thank you
we?
so much for joining us. at this year's PC gaming show. Once again, MafiaGame.com.
We still have the better part of an hour left to go.
Yeah, it's about like two-thirds.
Sean,
40 minutes.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, 2/3 done.
We just had to show it to you. Ever wondered what Slay the Spire might be like with Tim Burton at the helm? Well, Road Lords could be the answer. It's being jointly developed by Cyanide and Leica Studio and sees you building a team from storybook psychos like Dracula, Bloody Mary, and Baron Samedi. Makes all the more sense when you realise you're being employed by the devil himself, a job that has my name written all over it. The game is out this October.
Employed by the devil himself. Here is Randy Pitchford to tell you what that feels like.
Hi everyone. Exclusive gameplay reveal of our new title, Road Lords. Development is moving forward, and we are very excited to share some in-game elements and combat mechanics for the very first time.
One thing I didn't like about the Slay the Spire is the first playthrough.
You have to build your team
It's like
Legends of Evil and lead
it's
them
not.
runs.
It's challenging, but not like brutally difficult.
After a terrible defeat,
You lose, you start again, and suddenly there's a huge jump in difficulty. It's like, why?
You're right. Well, it's meant to kill you so you can come back with more powerful stuff.
No, the progress wasn't saved.
Ah, I see.
So the only knowledge, only thing I gained was knowledge, really.
It sounded like a roguelike to me, and that's pretty typical.
Yeah, it is, but why a huge jump between, like after your first death?
It's a roguelike. There's always huge jumps into difficulty.
I mean, if I'm starting from base again with the same shitty cards, there isn't really all that much I can do.
when the situation becomes tricky, you can use souls to play with the interface and change an enemy health bar, for example. This is an expensive trick to use, but very powerful and useful in the most difficult fights. Thank you for watching the video.
I don't really play roguelikes all that much.
See you next time.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of
I used to more than I do now.
procedurally generated worlds,
Because generally I like area design that's like meticulously designed. And like say for example, let's look at Hollow Knight. You look, yeah, the world is designed in a way that, you know, there are a lot of ways you can approach things, and like there is attention to detail. And then you look at Chasm, for example, and that's procedure generated and like in a way a bit roguelike, and there isn't really that attention to detail.
Right.
Will you waver? When challenged to forge your legacy out of strife, hardship, and magic, will you be victorious? This is our world. It is your burden. From beyond the gate into the First Valley, there is no return.
The Unexplored 2. I've heard of the developer before.
I haven't heard of
In Call of the Void, players
the first one to know about the
surrounding an
second.
ancient civilization
Neither have I.
in a showdown with a new otherworldly behemoth. And as a nice little bonus, if you go to playdauntless.com right now and use the code PCGamingShow2020, you can get some free
Part of me feels sorry, and part of me is just enjoying the whole thing. Dauntless developer was going, oh, just people love Monster Hunter World, but there is no Monster Hunter World for PC. Let's do one. And they release it, and immediately Monster Hunter World is announced for PC. And then I think they released it on consoles, and I'm like, why would someone play this on console when Monster Hunter World exists?
Yeah. So this is just Monster Hunter then?
Monster Hunter with neon lights and worst gameplay.
Yeah. Someone's dropping a hot synthwave album.
I mean, it's at least not as jarring as the Godfall music from the PlayStation thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're trying to distance the gameplay from Monster Hunter a bit. But from what I saw from the base game when it was released, and they paid a shit ton of, you know, there are streaming communities on Discord, and what they did was, Crystals, that's the last one they showed. That's a Colombian game.
Caught my eye. In
The
this first-person survival sandbox, you get to explore
these communities, they all started pushing for Dauntless at the same time, mostly because the developers started sponsoring the community leaders to try and push it to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
And yeah, I left this like streamer communities because they suck.
Independent creators on PC.
Yeah. I'm beginning to think more and more that Bloodborne PC was a big, big lie.
I mean, how many times did people mention Bloodborne PC?
Like, it's like I've been telling everybody, take it with a grain of salt, because they've been jerking us around with this for years. You know, if you start to expect Bloodborne for PC and you get excited, then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
I mean, it could happen. There's still some time.
It could. I mean, Persona 4 came out when?
2008? Yeah.
So, yeah. After 12 years, we finally get Persona 4.
I mean, this is also Persona 4 Golden, which came out after it. 2010, I think.
It's the same game.
Same, but different.
It's the same game with added content, alright? Don't call it a different game, because it's not.
Let's take a closer look at this unique.
It's like asking you to pay $60 for Persona 5 Royal.
I bought Persona 5 on discount just before they announced Royal.
Oh, that's tragic.
Actually, not just before. Several months before, and then I never played it, of course, and I should have, but
I mean, I like Persona 5 a lot. It's just, I'm not going to pay $60 for a game that...
They should have had an upgrade option.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what really pissed me off about it.
I could understand having an upgrade option, and yeah, it's like, okay, that's reasonable, but...
So this is Racketeer and Item Shop Tale, right?
I don't know, I guess.
Except zanier and...
So is it a deck builder in a way?
Kind of. Looks like a deck building shop sim.
We spend a lot of time in video games fixated on finding the best, the most powerful gear. But in our next game, Mortal Shell, things are a little different.
Okay, we're seeing some gameplay of Mortal Shell. That will be slightly less boring. Pay attention to the font size and the UI elements.
You then possess
a
ghost. These are the Mortal Shells, and they're much more than mere pieces of armor and stats. Each one has a complicated backstory, a playstyle, and an identity that might give you mixed feelings about the body.
The thing is, they've been talking about shells and how you can like, possess them or whatever. And then last time they just confirmed that there are only 4 shells, and they can all be obtained very early in the game.
All right.
PC gaming show. You seem different.
I'm expecting him to go, if I must tear you apart, Shepard, I will.
Consecrated fires revealed cinders and shadows. But beneath it all...
Oh my god, it's a magic show.
No gods. Only oblivion.
So it's Dark Souls.
Yeah, they are not like sugarcoating it. They said they were inspired by Dark Souls, and when they were talking, they were even mentioning which one was their favorite Souls.
Of course.
So it's not like Lords of the Fallen going, oh no, it's just a pure coincidence that there are similarities.
Right, because that was back when games were pretending not to hate Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I remember seeing this a while back.
I mean, from the announcement, it sounded like, oh, you can possess enemies, and it was cooler that way. Then they said they're only for fixed, whatchamacallit, shells, and it just,
But wait, there's more. We've gotten the chance to see some of the core gameplay of Mortal Shell, but now it's time to talk about bosses. Bosses are a classic staple of this type of RPG.
I saw one boss, and it felt like,
We'll see a boss that isn't just a one-and-done threat.
Yeah.
Instead, it's a constant adversary throughout the campaign. The Hattern is a mysterious figure who stalks the player throughout Mortal Shell. As you grow in skill and master new weapons, so will he. The clip we're about to watch...
Oh, so Mr. X is going to be following you through the entire game.
no, I think it's just a recurring boss, like the Pursuer or something.
Oh, so...
I read that as Harden, and I was like, what? Also, look at the stamina. Like, he can keep attacking, and the stamina bar is like, okay.
Barely goes down, yeah.
And yeah, the UI is a bit small. There is a reason why people put health bar in the top left corner. And that's mostly because if you're a left to right reader, language-wise, that's usually the first thing you look at, top left.
I gotta be honest, this kind of looks shit.
I don't know why, like, they're not using parries. Then, like, the gameplay they showed with IGN, they had the guy parrying, they had more.
This just looks bare bones.
Yeah, this looks like someone is fighting a Revenant in Neo, but remove all the ninjutsu and Onmyo magic.
Yeah.
And all the skills.
My god, this looks terrible. Like, the concept is kind of neat, it's just...
You really should watch the gameplay from the IGN thing. It looked far better than this. But there was still one thing that bugged me about it. They showed an item that's a loot, and your character can play it. Except playing a loot with a gauntlet is impossible.
You're right. Now we have a snake. A pretty small snake, to be honest with you.
It's a fish.
And it eats us.
Typically on the PC Gaming Show, we don't spend too much time talking about the Nintendo 64. But the beauty of PC gaming is that one way or another, almost all games
Ghost in the Mortal Shell.
Often better off for it. After giving Blade Runner and Turok the Remaster treatment, Night Dive Studios is now modernizing Shadow
Intense with the wrong spelling and not really accurate because that boss was very lackluster.
Hang on, what do you say this was?
Let's take a closer look.
Some studio is doing a game from 64. Not 1964, Nintendo 64.
Hang on, did you say Shadow Man? Yeah, I think Valiant published its Shadow Man comics. Yeah, they're remaking Shadow Man.
But now it's Shadow Woman. You know, maybe they should hide the tweets when they're showing gameplay.
Maybe.
Especially when it covers UI elements. All these games look great. Cap. I'm not sure if they're using Kappa as a joke or...
Maybe. I don't know.
Which would be another case of them missing out the joke in a tweet.
Yeah.
Okay, why are they showing... if they're remaking it, then why are they showing the old one?
Maybe it's just straight port.
I mean, it does look like upgraded graphics, but it's still like, okay. I don't know how the original looked, but it looks better than Nintendo 64, and therefore I'm assuming it's updated graphics.
It looks about like this on Nintendo 64.
I doubt it. Maybe through nostalgia goggles, yeah.
I mean, it's... I haven't played it since back on the N64.
Yeah, I mean, some of the games that you would think look good.
Looks about how I remembered it.
Yeah, well, because our memory is not really good with these kind of things. Because back then we'd look at it and go, "Oh, the graphics look amazing," and you look at the screenshot now, it's like, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to kick off.
I remember when I got the PlayStation 1, and when it started working, my mother was blown away by the graphics of the first Crash game. I was like, "Oh, this is so realistic," and I wonder what she would say if I show her a screenshot of that game now.
We're running a seasonal event with rewards until July 7th. And right now,
so what's this? Payday? Oh no, this is Killing Floor.
Game that was announced at the PC Gaming Show, Chivalry 2. Talk to me about Chivalry 2.
So we're working with Torn Banner Studios. We're publishing, Torn Banner's developing, and Chivalry 2 is coming along great. It's so fun, and we're excited to announce some big news: cross-play between the PC and the consoles, so you can hack and slash your console.
You know what would be nice? If these interviews are done over a chess timer, each person has a minute, and they swap the clock.
Yeah.
We've shown it to you guys originally in 2018. We had all that fun with Frank.
Right, Maneater finally got released.
The game is doing great. People are loving it. So much fan love.
It doesn't really have proper lock on, by the way.
We're just really happy to have it out there and people eating lots of humans.
It's such a funny game too. You know, you've talked a little bit about what games.
I've heard good things about Maneater.
They said it, like, from what I've seen and from what people have said, it's like mindless fun. It's not really great. It's just like something to play without thinking much.
I can respect that. Sometimes I'm in the mood to play something without thinking.
It's like when you decide to play Dynasty Warriors, for example. It's like, okay, just... I don't really want to think. I just want to attack shit.
You know, the game came out in 2015, so we're really thinking about what's next for the Killing Floor franchise. So stay tuned.
Well, if history is any indicator, John, I'm sure I'll see you at next year's PC Gaming Show with those very updates. Thanks so much.
Very optimistic about there being a next PC Gaming Show.
We've already taken a look at some Epic Game Store exclusives. Mortal Shell in particular looks very promising. But for a sense of what else there is, let's take a look at this.
Oh, would be hilarious if Bloodborne on PC is announced, but only on Epic Game Store. Imagine that. Imagine the madness that is going to happen.
That would be incredible. So, Mortal Shell is going to be EGS exclusive.
But did they just show Assassin's Creed for EGS?
Yes, they did.
But it's not going to be exclusive, obviously, because you play.
Right. Tony Hawk. So I guess we're going to have to buy Tony Hawk on the Epic Game Store.
How many years has it been since they announced Meat Boy Forever? Without any updates.
3 or 4 now.
Yeah, they haven't given any updates since then.
Yeah. Wing Mirror. We knew Ooblets was going to be EGS exclusive. Phantom Brigade. Airborne Kingdom. Iron Harvest.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. So I guess Assassin's Creed is going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store, except for...
Yeah, except Uplay.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually get it on Uplay anyway because I could get a 10% discount. But
yeah.
I'm thinking of just not buying it this time and just going with the subscription thing for Uplay because that's the only thing I play on Uplay.
Everything has a subscription thing now, and I'm not going to keep up with all of it.
What? Did someone just say, "Will you marry me?" Hashtag PC Gaming Show.
I don't know.
Would love it if there is a no response and they show it below.
A cooperative dungeon crawler that tasks 3 heroes to
imagine if that was actually a serious tweet.
To face the abominations of
yeah. Oh, they actually took away the scroll for this one. This is the one they thought was important enough to take that away.
From one of 3 classes: warrior, forge Titan's might, assassin,
let me at him,
or mage.
My greatest power is
battle a terrifying horde of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses. Each class of hero fulfills a specific role on the team to overcome mounting odds, solve clever puzzles, and synchronize their ultimate abilities to unleash massive damage. Battle through 3
The art style is reminding me of something, but
Me too, but I can't put my finger on it.
The oppressive Underhold and the precarious Blood Ridge. Steel your nerves and prepare once again to enter the Blight Warrior.
I don't know what it is.
I can't place it.
Oh, it's Devolver.
Yeah.
Are you viewers at home still thinking about that computer? I know I am.
That's a computer?
Oh, sorry. And now more.
I mean, custom-made parts. They were showing the guy making parts.
Yeah, I just thought it was a, set piece.
Stuff, tinker, and express themselves. And that spirit invites creators, streamers, developers, stores, and all kinds of different voices to contribute to PC gaming's vibrancy. We've already featured a lot of exciting independent games here today, but in rapid-fire succession, here are 8 more indie projects that we're excited about. Shadows of Doubt is a detective stealth game set in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city.
Tyler and I were discussing still the best detective game ever is Return of the Obra Dinn. Or as Tyler says, the only good detective game. Return of the Obra Dinn was great.
I have it. I just haven't touched it yet.
You should play it. I mean, I think the start is better than the end, but it's actually a detective game where... You know how the usual detective game approach is... let's give you choices in answering stuff. One of them is obviously wrong, and then the other 2 are like, maybe one of them is. And the other is the correct one, and then you answer. This one, you can't really rely on having choices.
Somebody is about
God. Oh, right. This was a Skyrim mod or something, wasn't it?
I mean, it can't be worse than Skyrim, so...
You already know what will happen if you fail.
Find your own truth in Paradise Killer, a first-person open-world murder mystery. Play as investigation freak Lady Love Dies as they explore the world, uncover the...
Lady Love Dies? That's the worst goddamn name I've ever heard.
What was the return of what was the game from yesterday? I mean, not the PlayStation thing. Return what? It had a shitty name too.
I don't remember.
Breathing life back into paradise won't be easy. When love dies, all
Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for it a while back.
Haven is an RPG about the journey of two lovers escape to a lost planet to stay together.
I'm surprised Devolver is not like releasing one of their videos. Oh, this was also a game like there was a demo for it, I think, back in last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember a PC Gaming Show did a week of the demos being available. This was one of them. I didn't manage to play it in that week.
I see. Well, looks like you'll get it for free if you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass.
Where you rule as a succession of fictional drug lords in a world where death and violence are inevitable.
So, our world?
Oh yeah, I think this came out on something already. I heard it wasn't very good.
But there was that game where you grow wheat, wasn't there?
Probably.
Yeah, I was actually thinking Darkest Dungeon, but brighter. And Dragon Crown is also similar. They're blight bound. BB was saying that. It's like reminds yeah, it's kind of a mix between Dragon Crown and Darkest Dungeon. You're right.
Yeah, the one thing I was actually kind of going back and forth between those two myself.
Yeah, I was thinking Darkest Dungeon, but then I was like, isn't that more like flat 2D art? But yeah, I can see a combination of the two.
Yeah.
It's like Darkest Dungeon done in a more 3D effect, like Dragon Crown.
Like Salt and Sanctuary.
Chris Stills, I played the demo for this. It's turn-based combat, but when you're fighting, you can push something to the past to take advantage of it. Like an enemy that's big, you send it back to the past, so it's like...
Oh, is that this one?
It was smaller, yeah.
Alright.
And then you can take advantage of that weakness.
Yeah, I think they showed this off at one point. And
Yeah, they
really cool.
last year.
Yeah,
and
it's this one. Okay. And we finally have a release date on it.
Yeah, I played the demo. I don't think it was a good demo, but it seemed like an interesting game. The bad thing about the demo is they didn't really give you much of a chance to explore and truly understand the combat system.
Right.
And also, every video game journalist spelled Columbia as Columbia. And nothing pisses a Colombian off more than that.
Of course. That's the British spelling, isn't it?
No, it's the country spelling.
No.
The country of Colombia, C-O-L, and uses the second O instead of the second U.
Right.
Despite its top-down perspective, Weird West carries forth much of the same spirit of those first-person games laid out.
Oh yeah, that's another one I was really looking forward to.
Fantastical creatures from Wolf-Eye Studios and Devolver. Let's take a look.
I wonder if they're gonna do a demo thing this time too.
I kind of hope so, because
Man, they did about 7 games last time. Yeah. They had Moving Out, Chris Tales, that Haven game, Carrion, which already had as a demo before that.
Well, they have quite a few. They have quite a few demos up this time. Seems like.
Yeah.
There are ancient powers at war with each other.
This one was shown last year, right?
It was shown at the Game Awards.
Peculiar motives. Welcome to the Weird West.
The West isn't weird.
Co-creators for Dishonored Prey.
Coming out here could be the best.
I mean, a lot of these games I might end up playing on like an indie stream or something.
Yeah.
Joining me to talk about Weird West
Be
is the president
nice if we got a release date.
of Studios. It's Raf Colantonio. How's it going, Raf?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
It would be hilarious if Sean didn't actually make sure the guy likes to be called Raph and just and this guy hates being called Raph. Like, don't fucking call me Raph.
In an environment that is called the Weird West, and it's very much of the kind of games that I've been working on in the past, except that the perspective is more like a isometric, top-down kind of view.
Yeah, I mean, we've referenced
Finally, somebody uses the word isometric.
Think of the immersive sim as first-person games like that.
Is it bad that I can generally guess whether the developer they're talking to is American or not American based on the teeth?
Find yourself at
You're paying a lot of attention to teeth, man.
No, the reason is actually pretty simple. In the US, they use a lot more fluoride, whether it's in the water and or like dentists. So you end up with a very white set of teeth, which isn't actually natural.
Right.
And the thing is, with the US media being the main thing in the world, most people end up seeing that in films and television and assume the very white teeth are a sign of good teeth and the slightly off-white ones are bad, when it's actually not really the case.
There's a world.
That's how we get you.
Yep.
Objects, and all of those objects have got consistent rules. And then there's
I mean, I can tell that he's not an American based on his accent.
No, before he even like started talking.
I think Arcane, or the guys who used to be in charge of Arcane, were based out of France.
Possibly, yeah.
Stealthy way, which would be what you would imagine people would do. So probably use a power and put people to sleep and then get inside.
You've talked about the different things that you can do.
I wonder if the coronavirus continues, how many of these games are going to be delayed?
Most of them.
Right. So this is a very good question and also a very dangerous one for me.
It's the riskiest question yet, man.
To make it simple, you are going to play 5 different characters. Once the main quest is over with the first character, you go to the next one. Now, the first one...
See, this is cool. They're actually showing the game. They're not replaying parts of the trailer.
Yeah.
mean for you and for your companions in Weird West?
It's a risk that we're taking. We're gonna have different modes. There's the super hard mode.
The horse!
where you die.
Stop shooting at that horse!
Is the game sort of designed to be like playing in one forward timeline? If someone dies, you're not...
Well, a lot of people would use horses for cover.
Yeah, you continue to play with the same world, but now the sad thing is that that doesn't apply to your followers, the characters that are with you, but maybe they'll come back at you someday under the form of an undead, or you don't know what's gonna happen. You can revive your followers if you're there and if you have the right tools with you, but if you don't and they die, that's it. You know, your followers are now in a little graveyard somewhere.
You make it sound cute. A precious little graveyard. Well, they will maybe come back as the undead. Yeah. Now, Raph, when can people get their hands on Weird West?
So the game ships in 2021, but some of you are gonna have a chance to play a demo actually pretty soon in the incoming months. You can follow Wolfeye Studios on Twitter, and as well as Devolver Digital on Twitter as well, for more information about that.
Well, wonderful, Raph. Thank you so much for coming out. Once again, that is Devolver Digital, Wolfeye Studios on Twitter for that upcoming demo. For our next game, believe it or not, yet again, we're going to go to Frankie.
Gasp.
Sean, I don't know about you, but there are times I wish for a simpler life. A life spent as a farmer in a humble JRPG village, where all I have to worry about is which vegetables to plant, what to name my chickens, and which of
So
the
play
dozen townsfolk I should
Harvest
use
Moon
marriage
or
to.
Animal Crossing.
Our next game is a return to that simpler life. From XC Games, this is Story of Seasons.
Yeah, well,
Friends of
Harvest Moon.
Town.
Yeah.
From what I hear, there is a bit controversy about the Story of Seasons because the Harvest Moon people who made the old Harvest Moon are not the same people who make the new Harvest Moon, and the people who used to make Harvest Moon are the ones making Story of Seasons now.
Okay.
Hey,
Sounds
even the music is from Harvest Moon Back to Nature.
I have not played a Harvest Moon game ever.
This is the music for Autumn. Every season has different music.
Same artwork as the old Harvest Moon games.
Yeah, the music is the same. I remember there's one character who you can romance by buying her alcohol repeatedly. So in other words, you just get her drunk.
I remember hearing about that.
You get her drunk and she agrees to marry. It's like beer goggles.
Reactions, your memes, your takes to various temperatures throughout the show. Through the wonderful magic of motion graphics, you can even read them before your very eyes right now. I'm delighted by so many of them. Furious at a few, but I'm confused by none because you're just making a lot of sense today. We're in the home stretch of the show, so please continue to let us know.
One second.
He's saying they make a lot of sense. Did he see how many people were saying, you know, like, oh, don't bring politics into my show?
PC as the MMO. It requires a vast amount of resources to create a rich, living, breathing world to entertain hundreds of thousands of players for years. And I know this because I watched Season 1 of Mythic Quest. Due on closed beta on July 23rd.
Oh yeah, there was that TV show they advertised. I think it was last year. I don't think anyone watched it.
I'm excited to announce today that if you pre-order New World right now, you can get into that July 23rd beta a full month before the full release on August 25th. This is New World.
Please tell me they're bringing a whole new world from Aladdin. That's the theme for this game. Nope. Damn it.
Sorry, my dog wanted attention. What's up?
They are showing a new world, but they're not actually playing the song A Whole New World, which is kind of a missed opportunity. Also, he was saying he's happy with the tweets, furious at some of them, but all of them make sense, which...
Oh yeah, I caught that part.
Like, if he's furious at some, how is he, like, how does he so he thinks the ones that thought, oh, don't bring politics into my shows, or made sense? Like, what? I mean, that's...
Is this a new world?
Yeah.
It looks kind of bad.
This is bad. I should save that as a sound clip for my streams.
What? This is bad?
Yeah, the one from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because I showed you the clip where I was ranting about the game as soon as I started the stream. Then my save loaded. Yeah, it's...
Undergone some big changes since its first review.
Don't know. That's the
Life is Strange.
Next game,
yeah.
A psychological thriller that follows investigative journalist Sam.
I watched some person play it, and the twist was very obvious from the beginning, and the writing didn't feel riveting enough.
I tried playing it, but I couldn't get into it.
I mean, the whole story would be irrelevant if they lived in a civilized country where there is some gun control and they can't bring guns to school.
Yeah.
Peaceful tops that list.
And yes, there I alienated a lot of people who might be watching.
You're the one in the driver's seat, Sam. I can't make you do anything. Coming back to Basswood was your idea.
Oh, is this the Twin Peaks thing?
Try and make sure you don't do anything.
Twin Mirror is what it's called.
Oh, like Twin something. I don't know.
For you down there is hurt. You might be right. The good news, though, at least you don't have to do it alone.
Mirror. Looks like it's another Epic Games thing.
Metal Hellsinger announced earlier this week, and today we get the opportunity.
Someone last year in a tweet said, "Why not just call it the Epic Game Show?" And honestly,
you have to battle through 8 hells,
why not?
casting demons to a heavy metal soundtrack, and to talk about one of the
Well, most of what I've seen so far is on Steam.
Director at The Outsiders, David Goldfarb. Take it away, David.
So I think
let me say it's a pleasure.
I think Epic is actually
right now everybody needs some games to
sponsoring this.
Oh god, there's no way you can read that font with the fire.
That's why.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's bad.
So what you're about to see here is an exclusive peek of some pre-alpha gameplay of our upcoming game.
Pre-alpha. That's
I hope you like it.
promising.
In the same way that when your nose starts leaking, it's pre-ejaculate. The reloading font is like half decent size, and then the other subtitle is just too small.
I hope this isn't indicative of the final product. Oh, glory kills.
And the damage numbers, like, they seem out of focus most of the time where you can't actually read them. Or is it just me?
I think they just shouldn't have the damage numbers.
Or have them smaller. Like, hell, if the subtitles were half as big as the damage numbers, the subtitles would be alright.
Yeah, the doom dashing.
Oh god, this is giving me motion sickness. It's not, but it could give someone motion sickness.
No, it couldn't. This looks like Doom Eternal, except slowed down like 70%.
You know what would be very interesting if they announced Legacy of Kain.
Yeah.
That's one series that just disappeared completely.
Felicia Day here, and I play the magician in the Dungeons of Nahelbeck, the Amulet of Chaos.
Come again?
Tactical RPG that's coming to PC later this summer. It features a group of adventurers searching a dungeon for treasure. Each one of
I think a better sentence would have been, "Hi, whatever her name is, I wanted to talk to you about such and such game, where I play the character this."
The game doesn't take itself too seriously. It has lots of in-jokes.
I didn't catch the title.
Yeah, it seemed a bit too long. It sounded like what you would call an anime where the protagonist dies and then gets transported to a different world.
The Dungeon of...
You again? I'd expected your asses to be turned into lampshades by now. You roach! I'm pissed. Ha! Pleased to meet you, pissed. I'm Revax.
What a burn!
We'll smash your rotten brains out.
How about we try diplomacy, maybe?
No! Attack!
Guards, guards! Dispatch these smelly bushwhackers! Zivat relic hizbat!
My sister just sent me a picture of the burger buns I told her how to make. They look okay.
Who says you need water to go sailing? Our next game, Red Sails, puts you on a boat in the middle of a sea of desert. In this intriguing narrative adventure, you rescue stranded people while looking for the rest of your clan. Let's take a look at Red Sails.
I heard that as rest of your clam. I was like, what? It made sense because you're sailing and... But it's sand.
It's sand ocean with all them sand sharks and sandworms.
I remember one guy a while back showed me a film, an Egyptian film, I think, about a plane crash, where they don't realize they're in quicksand, and then when they realize, it's because a chair was sinking. And you can see a hand grabbing the chair leg and shaking it. It's a hilarious clip. I don't really have an idea of what kind of game it is.
I have no idea.
So, DevBot, do you have any access to some medical programs in case I, bump my foot against some of these cold, unforgiving walls?
Query received, Sean. In order to familiarize you with basic life-saving procedures, I have established contact with game developer Bossa Studios, the creators of Surgeon Simulator 2.
Well, I wasn't really planning on doing any surgery. I feel like if I was injured, you'd be the one doing the surgery.
I haven't played Surgeon Simulator before.
Neither have I. Just seems like a gimmick to me.
Yeah. I mean, the closest I got to was playing Trauma Center, which isn't really the same.
Yeah. Not quite.
And I'm certainly interested in this game.
I played the Trauma Center on the Wii, and it was interesting, actually, considering how different characters play differently and so on.
So it's Hitman?
You basically do surgery without proper medical tools.
Right.
And controls are very iffy. Like, I think you move the hand with one stick and... Or it's like, you move the hand and the fingers separately, something like that. It's very unwieldy.
It's a VR thing.
Just for, comedic purposes. It looks like it's more overcooked in a way that a lot of people can play together now.
That's kind of what I'm getting from it.
Yeah. From what I've seen, the first one is very different. It's like first person just messing about.
Yeah.
Joining us to talk about Surgeon Simulator 2, we got Mark Pick on the line. Mark, thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So, for anyone who has not experienced the hilarity of Surgeon Simulator 1, can you just give us the gist and tell us, what is Surgeon Simulator 2?
It sounds like he doesn't really think it's hilarious.
Kind of taken the tone and the heart,
yeah,
which is that chaotic physics gameplay, and we've really kind of blown it out to brand new epic proportions. So in the original game, you're just one arm kind of moving around on one table. In the new game, you're actually a fully limbed surgeon moving around for the first time in the series on 2 feet. In the original game as well.
Why is the idea of moving around on 2 feet hilarious?
I don't know.
You were limited to just surgery, whereas in Surgeon Simulator 2, there's a whole plethora of brand new mechanics, challenges, and gameplay elements to explore. You're not just looking over one patient's chest cavity anymore, but you're actually exploring a fully fledged medical facility.
Can you maybe tease a little bit of some of the other, perhaps, medical operations that I get to perform in Surgeon Simulator 2?
Yeah, so there is 12 operations in the game, and you will have seen a few of those in the trailer just
Castration?
now. Think of that facility as like a little bit like the original Surgeon Simulator.
They're just playing more of the trailer again.
Kind of a mad
Yeah.
lab thrown in there. Through this kind of lens of like a Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory vibe, like you're never really sure what's going to be around the next corner and what new twist or what dark machinery you're going to come across next. So players are going to come across everything from like surgical vending machines, over-engineered operating theaters, automatic patient dispensers. My personal favorite, which is actually
automatic patient dispensers,
where you can actually fire limbs or organs and things across to your fellow surgeons on the other side of the room to keep operating on Bob.
Now, Mark, I understand that there is a creation tool in Surgeon Simulator 2. What does that entail?
Yeah, that's right. So in keeping with the variety and the surprise that we talked about before, in Surgeon Simulator 2, we're proud to announce that we are bringing the Bossa Labs creation mode to the game. Now, in creation mode, you as a solo player or in a group of up to 4 players can get stuck into the very same tools that we as designers and developers use to build our very own story mode. It's an easy to use, intuitive, friendly set of tools where it's as much fun to create as it is to play.
So I want to ask, what are some of the examples of the types of levels, the types of creations that people have made?
That's a great question. So we've been live for the last few months already. The wealth and the variety of content made by players so far has been really, really incredible to see. So there's been everything in there from traditional surgery,
they're gonna show the
game.
like a
We've also
stream
got ghost
this
ships in there.
game
We've got ball anatomy
after.
on the Surgeon Olympics. Where people
For a second, I was like, why are they showing a tweet advertising someone's stream? And then I read the rest of the tweet.
which
Oh.
kind of they take on the bottle flip challenge. So I don't know if you.
I don't want to see that.
Flip a bottle with the hands and kind of.
Thankfully, it's going to be on a completely different channel.
And you just kind of step back
Oh,
and see the
good.
chaos play out, and it's a lot of fun.
It's been more than 2 hours.
Mark, I had a blast playing Surgeon
Yeah.
Simulator.
Well, they
So,
did say
how
that-
happy are you about Bloodborne remaster?
It's great. Looks amazing. Game of the year all years.
In August 2020, and you can
Bloodborne remaster.
also go to surgeonsimulator.com
A+.
for more information and follow us at surgeonsim on Twitter to learn more.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That's Mark Pick. I'm Sean Plott. Let's go to Frankie Ward.
Sean, you'll remember our next developer from their appearance in the PC gaming show way back in 2015. Hello Games are a small UK indie studio, perhaps best known for building the infinite, procedurally generated universe of No Man's Sky.
Oh, No Man's Sky. No Man's Scam, more like it.
Campfire is an adventure game, a story of a lost ember.
Looks
trapped
like
in
they're
a
making
cosmic
something
void,
else.
searching for meaning and a way home. Let's check it out.
You're a pillow.
Please tell me you can dress it up as a waifu pillow. If they don't let you do that, they
0, 10.
they really didn't think this through. I mean, look, who's gonna trust them after No Man's Sky? They need to attract some different demographics, and that's the demographic they could go for.
Yeah. The last campfire.
Escape from Tarkov has become one of the
Oh,
biggest
campfire.
successes
So
of
fire.
2020,
So it's like Dark
becoming a
Souls.
hit on Twitch as players
Yeah.
extra gritty take on first-person shooters. But as anyone who works on the internet will tell you, the people always want more. And more we've got for you today. Because in a moment, I'm going to be speaking to one of the game's developers about what's coming next. And that includes a spicy new map. Hey, DevBot, why don't you show them what we got?
Tarkov thing.
Okay.
It's Escape from Tarkov, a new map.
A new map?
Yeah.
For what?
Escape from Tarkov.
So Escape from Tarkov is promoting a new map called Escape from Tarkov.
Or I don't know what it is, but it's basically. I don't know anything about that game apart from its first-person shooter. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Three spooky, 5 me.
It's one of those games that basically got popular because they made deals with some more popular streamers to play, and then they started pushing people towards playing it.
Right. So what's the deal with it?
It's like you spawn at different points in the map, and I think there are 2 factions.
Oh, so it's a multiplayer.
Yeah. And if you die, you lose the weapons you're using. So you could be playing different, like several missions, and you work on upgrading a weapon, and then you lose
to
it.
talk about what's coming next.
Oh yeah, a lot of games have been doing that.
Battle State Games. Thanks so much for joining us today, Nikita.
Thank you for having me.
I would love if you would kick
Lit.
off by, just for anyone who hasn't played or seen Escape for Tarkov, how does a session of Escape from Tarkov work?
Okay,
What
there
makes
he
it
is,
different
explaining
from,
it.
say, a class-based shooter or a battle royale?
It's more about like true survival. You need to actually escape from location through extract points, and you need to actually save your life and save your gear and your loot. And if you die, you will lose everything.
So how does the new map compare to the existing map set in Tarkov?
It will be the biggest.
If you die, you lose everything. I lost my wife, my kids, my house.
A lot of explorable buildings.
All because I died in this game.
It's like an attempt to simulate the city, the realistic modern city.
So give me a breakdown of what's coming up in this upcoming patch 12.7.
12.7 is more like...
This is the first I've ever heard of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I heard of it from someone who was streaming, and as far as I know, no one really talks about it outside because, like I said, that's how they got popular. It's a bit like, you know, how the whole PUBG and Fortnite phenomenon started. Except this one doesn't seem to have as much success.
Okay.
Is that his laundry outside?
So we always try to
I don't know.
something new in terms of new bosses. Really big amount.
I'm really focusing on the real stuff.
We'll try to do a new experience for you.
Escape from Tarkov has been playable for a long time for anyone who's listening who
I
hasn't
would
yet played it.
find it hilarious if they talk to a developer and then find like a far right flag on their wall behind them.
Tarkov.com to check it out. And Nikita, thanks so much for joining us.
And then they don't notice.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
For our next titled PC gaming show, it's time to head on over to the inimitable Frankie Ward.
Over the last decade, developer Red Barrels has given us some of the most messed up horror games ever created. The next game in the Outlast series offers more
Outlast. Yay.
Oh, the game that creatively makes mentally ill people horror enemies. Oh wait, it's not really creative, is it?
Recruited to test advanced methods of brainwashing and mind control. Good times.
I mean,
Work together.
unless they can do better, they shouldn't be using mental hospitals as a setting for horror films or horror media in general.
Oh, so we have to sit through Outlast now.
Yeah, we have to Outlast.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I guess PC Gaming Show doesn't learn about the difference between quality and quantity.
Yeah.
You know, I think part of it is they really love the presenters. And they don't want to just do trailer after trailer after trailer.
Right.
So they have to pad it out with talking. Oh, trepanation?
Night vision device fully operational, sir.
Excellent. Bring in the other subjects.
The Outlast trials. So I guess now there are multiple.
And with that, the 2020 PC Gaming Show
Multiple what?
is now complete. Thank you so much for joining us.
So what'd you think about that Bloodborne remaster?
Incredible.
Also, as you might imagine, it is really challenging to put on a show with no nearby gaming conventions. So an enormous thanks to our sponsors for helping to make this show possible. This year, the sponsors are Mythical, Perfect World, Funcom, Frontier Developments, Xseed Games, Atlas, Intel, All In Games, Humble Games, Sega, Amazon Games, Merge Games, Tripwire Interactive, and
Couldn't he have just like memorized them instead of making it a point to raise the... And also, why is Persona 4 Golden listed as a sponsor along with Atlas?
Because the game sponsored the show, obviously.
Thanks again, DevBot.
What was that black bar on the left just now?
I'm glad to have been of service, Sean.
Did you see it?
Shut down into sleep mode to conserve power until next year. Frankie, what
I did not.
Maybe I'm just losing it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, probably.
Of our devs for your incredible games, and of course a massive thanks to our sponsors for making this all happen. And finally, a big thanks to you guys at home for watching. I'm actually off with my little evil sidekick now to take over the world, and I really, really do look forward to being your evil Emperor Overlord. Until next year,
What the hell was that about?
and goodbye.
It's
Also, wouldn't it be Empress Overlord?
Coming up next is the Future
One would
Games
think.
show over at twitch.tv/gamesradar, where you'll see more exclusive reveals, deep dives on the future of gaming, and developer interviews. With that, I'm Sean Day9 Plot, and this has been the PC Gaming Show. Stay healthy, stay safe, and take care.
What an incredible show.
It was great.
Goodbye, world. These are the credits.
Will there be a post-credit scene? They really listed the bot as a host. Really?
Well, yeah, the DevBot was clearly a big part of the show.
Okay, so here is the thing. When I saw them move the bot from, that truck or whatever it was to the building, I expected them to have like an overarching story in the presentation. That was not a thing. And it's like, okay, what was the point of that?
But I'm still not sure what a grip does. Look at how many people it takes to do the work of one DevBot.
This sounds like someone went, hey, Portal did writing for machines that was really good. Let's try and do something similar. And fail.
Yeah. So, what'd you think? What do you think looks good?
Chris Tales, which I was already interested in before this show, because last year, and I don't know what else. Not really many things that I'm interested in.
There were a few things that caught my eye. Humankind looks good.
Which one was Humankind again?
That was the 4X where you evolve humanity.
Ah, yeah. I mean, the idea of evolving humanity just reminds me of that the Assassin's Creed creator game, the one he made recently. That was really unpopular.
I like Proteus. I like Fate Tactics. I like Weird West.
Yeah, Weird West might be interesting, I thought.
The Weird West setting, genre, is actually one of my favorite setting types, so, the guys who made Soldered and Gray, making that is kind of really exciting to me.
Hold on.
Exclusive. So I guess there is a pro credit.
There is something.
It's laggy as fuck.
That frame rate is really good.
Watch, this is going to be the Bloodborne HD port.
Bloodborne SD port. What? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they recorded the whole show and then someone submitted another game and said, you know what, we're not editing it. We're just going to put it after the credits.
Wow, was this really worth a post-credits thing?
It's Bloodborne.
It's Gloomwood.
Inside at last, welcome.
I mean, he has a cane that transforms. And it's a Hampton City. It has firearms. Yeah, it's Bloodborne. You can die. It's definitely Bloodborne.
Clearly this was,
That really wasn't that good.
This is... Well, there were a few things I was interested in, and I was glad to see more of Weird West.
I mean...
It's been something I've been looking forward to since they announced it.
Yeah, didn't they announce it? Was it last year or the year before?
They announced it at the Game Awards last year.
I would say probably Crystal. There wasn't a game that I went, oh my god, this is exciting. Then again, I don't really get excited about shit, but like, yeah, out of this and the PlayStation, the thing I am looking forward to the most is a remake of a like 12 years old game, 11 years old game.
I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 8. From show yesterday, well, not yesterday's, day before when we did PlayStation, my things I was excited about was, Hitman, Resident Evil, Demon Souls.
I mean, Hitman 3 was kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
It's just... the problem is, there is a lot of... it's good to show indie games, but at the same time, not all indie games are created equal.
Yeah.
And giving, like, such a... I'm sure they had to make decisions about what to include and what not to include.
Yeah.
But some of the games, you look at them and go, really? Especially Sony. Like that, what was it? That furry game they were showing? People were like, what? Like, would that be what you want to show at a console reveal?
Apparently.
Or starting the whole thing with a GTA 5. That was one of the dumbest ways to start a console reveal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to talk about the new generation of consoles, where you can play games from 2 generations ago. How incredible!
It's fucking great.
I honestly don't know what they were thinking, or if they were thinking in the first place.
Probably not. Oh. Anyway, that was 2.5 hours of kind of boredom. I'm going to pop off and get some food.
Yeah, I would probably do the same.
Alright.
Alright, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next time. If there is there something else happening? I don't know.
Well, there's the Future Game Show in about half an hour, which...
what is that about?
It's basically seems to be showing off hardware, the next generation hardware. I don't really expect too much from it. It looks to be more like the technical side of it.
I tend to find that stuff like boring.
That's because it's boring.
Yeah.
Features 40 plus games on console, PC, and mobile. I mean, it's up to you.
Honestly, we'll think about it in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, it'll probably take me that long to get food.
Yeah, I'll probably just heat milk and turn all the milk I have into hot chocolate, and we'll see.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Well,
for now, we're off. Alright, bye.
Take care, guys.